Hey there guys, different video type here today. I know it's I think it's a couple weeks old at this point. Let me check real quick. 4 days ago, my bad. Time really does fly. I know a lot of channels have done this where they've looked at the DLC and given their thoughts on it, or this like little dev chat thing they used to do. This is the most recent one in a while. And I figured it'd be good if I just get my opinions on it, since mine are going to be different here, since I actually care about this DLC. Most of the DLCs I just like, for instance, the last Omens of Destruction, I didn't care. I didn't like any of the three factions. I mean, I like greenskins to an extent, but Gorbat is not particularly interesting to me. Korn was never interesting to me, and what was the last one? Golg. Yeah, he's not particularly interesting to me either. Even though he is a dog of war, but the way he is in Total War is more similar to the 8th edition, and I am not a big fan of 8th edition. Despite my age, 6th edition is by far the best, and then I'd say it's probably 5th. Then 4th is getting a little bit too old, and 7th was a bit of a downfall from 6th, but 8th is the weakest in my opinion, not including 1st or 2nd, because those don't count. So, yeah, figured I'd give my little opinions on this thing. I didn't watch it all because it is just a lot of talking and not a lot of showcasing, and I have better things to do with my time than just hear a bunch of British guys talking. So I sat through the parts that I thought I would enjoy, and I'll give you my opinions on some of the stuff. So, Sea Lord Aislinn. Let's start it off here. I personally am not a fan of Sea Lord Aislinn as far as a pick, and I know he was on my top 30 video short for characters in Warhammer Fantasy I enjoy the most, or whatever. But he has a bias because I'm a huge High Elf fan. High Elves are like my favorite race in all of Warhammer, so I had to put him on there because I wasn't really thinking at the time. I hadn't read any of the lore books, I hadn't even looked through the 5th edition army book. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Aislinn. He's just a butthole for no real good reason. I think he sacked Marienburg, if I remember correctly. Actually, I should probably check that. So yeah, he didn't sack it. That's my bad. He just kind of like attacked and then left. Which, that makes it even lamer, because why attack the place in the first place? Get the loot from Marienburg, since it's a rich city, and go. I mean, come on, man. Yeah, he's a Storm of Chaos character for the most part, I believe. He's in the 7th edition army book, 8th edition. Yeah. Anyway, whatever. He's just not one of my favorites. I think there were better characters for the High Elves, such as, I think this guy, Belinar, here, would have been a better, Belinar the Wise would have been a better choice. I mean, that's partly my 5th edition fanboy coming out in me here, but this guy was a named character in 5th edition. He kind of got forgotten after that, and he was essentially a really strong wizard at Safari who, yeah, he was really cool. Like, he had these different magical items, and yeah, he was a cool dude. So, but he got lost to time, a lot like, what's another character I'm trying to think of? Oh, the Elector Count of Hawkland. I can't remember his name right now. That guy, he was a named character. Or any characters from the 5th edition, 4th edition era that were just completely forgotten. Like the guy, Thyrus Gorman. That guy. He was the Supreme Patriarch before Balthasar Gelt, and yeah, he's completely forgotten. I bet half of you watching right now don't even know who that is. But anyway, I would have preferred a Safari faction, and it could have been led by Belinar here, and could have been something to do with magic. I mean, it would have been similar to Teclis, but Sea Lord Aislinn's really not going to be anything special, because without a game without naval combat, what good is he really going to do? He's just kind of like an elven pirate guy who never was that important. I don't think he ever had a model. I think he had a kit bash to do it, like a lot of the things. I mean, that being said, I don't think Belinar here had a model either, but I think it would have been cooler to have a Safari-led faction and done some more with the magic, maybe add some more mages or something, since High Elves are truly, at their heart, about magic. Like, they are the strongest magic users in the Warhammer verse, apart from maybe Chaos, maybe Tzeentch, maybe? But Teclis is supposed to be, like, above everyone else, so, yeah, High Elves focus on the magic, and Belinar here, he could have been flushing that out entirely. Whereas Sea Lord Aislinn, I don't know, he just doesn't tickle my fancy, I guess. So that's my opinion on Sea Lord Aislinn choice. But maybe he'll be good. Maybe he'll have a fun campaign. Because I have characters that I don't like, but they have fun campaigns. Like, I don't like Archaon, but he has a fun campaign. I don't like, what's his name? The dragon ogre. Dude, how am I forgetting? It's just blanking. Anyway, a lot of the Warriors of Chaos, in fact. I mean, I do like Sigvald, but I don't like Slaanesh. He's the opposite. I realized Belinar here had been the High Lord Master of Ulthuan before giving it to Teclis, so I guess he would have been very similar to Teclis. I don't know. Maybe it's my 5th edition coming out, like I said, but I prefer him. In fact, there's this whole list, and I recommend you look at it. It's like a Steam community page where it shows all the stuff that isn't in it. And I get that Aislinn has more to do with the sea stuff, but the thing is, High Elf Sea Guard in that area has never been the core of why I like High Elves in the first place. Oh, and Finubar, I didn't even think about him. He would have been a cool legendary lord too. The Phoenix King himself as a legendary lord? I mean, come on. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff that I guess wouldn't have made the cut. Like Sea Rangers, that would be cool. Ship's Company, and like Dragon Princes on Drakes. That used to be a thing, by the way. Drakes, I think, were kind of like a Cold One equivalent. Anyway, I'm getting off topic. But yeah, I don't think Aislinn is that cool of a pick, in my opinion. But I can see why other people are getting excited for him. I mean, he is an older character, not an 8th edition, so at least there's that. Now, as for the way he looks fine. I think that's how he should look. It's not like anything special. He never had a mini, as I said, so kind of don't have really anything to go on there, other than he's gonna be looking like a Sea Guard with maybe some, like that's the, looking like the, Sea Helm. And getting the Lothern Skycutter, I'm totally fine with that. That should have been the game from the get-go. I mean, it's a core unit for I mean, it's not a core unit, you know what I mean, but it's like it's a unit for High Elves. And it's basically like an Eagle Claw or a form of artillery up here with a couple of dudes. Totally fine with this. This is cool. I get it. This has always been a cool thing. And yeah, glad to see that in the game. So, then the Sea Elementals. This is more of a random thing, and I'm not really sure how to feel about it because I don't really care for the monster units and factions. Like, I like the race for what it is, not for the monsters and stuff that it gets. So for instance, with High Elves, I like getting elf units. Like, strictly elf units. So I wouldn't be that happy at all if it was the Merworm gets added, because that's just another monster unit. There's nothing particularly High Elf special about it. I mean, a lot of factions could get the Merworm. And the same with the Sea Elemental. It's not like the Sea Elemental is tied directly to the High Elves. So, I don't really know. I'm not really the biggest fan of it. Like, I would have preferred some Ship's Company. I mean, it's still possible we're getting that stuff, but I personally am, like, indifferent, I guess, a little bit against adding just a monster type unit. Like, I like vampires too, and I like the skeletons part of it, so I like getting skeleton units and stuff. So when they add like a monster, it's like, So, we'll see. I mean, vampire counts, I think, have probably a little bit less monsters, and their monsters are more unique to whereas High Elf, their monsters are like dragons, and I do like High Elf dragons a lot. I am an Imric fan, after all, and I love Kalidor, but the dragons for the High Elves are distinctly unique. These could be under multiple factions and look the same, but the dragons for High Elves are like distinctly blue, and sun dragons, star dragons, moon dragons, they're all distinctly High Elf. Like, no other faction gets those. So, yeah, indifferent towards that. The Mist Mage, I'm like, I mean, really? Do we need another mage hero? Because couldn't this just be like an additional lore of magic? I don't know. I mean, it's not really one of the lores of magic, but it could have just been under the mage and then just had like a separate one for mist magic, I guess, is what I'm saying. I don't really know having it another hero. I do like getting a male mage, because all the mages in Total War right now are female. which is just lazy, but it is nice to get a male mage model. I just wish you could choose, like, in the tabletop, but whatever. That's just too much to ask, I guess. I love these little hands that they've always had. These hands, the bull horns for heavy metal, is kind of what it looks like. It reminds me of. I've always liked those. That's a side track anyway. So then I think they announced something new for, Slaanesh, and it's just Dark Elf guys, these guys with these ponytails who look like Shade models. They might even end up being the Shade models. Who cares? I mean, Dark Elf fans won't care because they're not getting the unit, and Slaanesh fans who, like, do you even exist? I only ever hear content creators talking good of Slaanesh, so yeah, that's pretty much all they talked about. I mean, they did show like some more stuff for Sail the Faithless and Dakala here. I'm just not a big fan of Sail the Faithless, honestly, or Dakala for that matter. I mean, Dakala probably slightly more, but I'm probably not going to end up buying their DLCs anyway, so I haven't really been focusing on that, especially demon stuff. I don't really focus on Chaos Demons because I have better things to focus on. I'm focusing more on my vampire counts and my high elves. Those are my two favorite factions. Those are the ones that I spend the most time thinking about. I like a little bit of Empire here and there. You know how much I love Elspeth. I spent a lot of time on that. So in a faction like this, it's good to see that they get something new, because Slaanesh was severely lacking. And I do play Sigvald time to time. Haven't been playing a lot of Total War recently because I've been freaking lazy, but I enjoy Sigvald from time to time. I'm still not going to end up buying the DLC because I just don't like the units they were revealing in the other ones, like the Pleasure Seekers with the boobs all over the snake, the boob snakes. I've never been a big fan of Slaanesh or any Chaos for that matter. So, yeah. Anyway, what else was I going to show? Oh yeah, the leaks. So the leaks. I was going to show the leaks. So, this is where things get worrisome for me. The leaks. If they have been pretty spot on right now. And there's some good stuff in here, and there's some bad stuff that I don't really like. Some stuff I really do like. Bjorg Bearstruck, awesome. The Dogs of War. Bjorg being the leader of the Bearmen of Ursula. Cool dude. Nice to get him a Legendary Lord. If that is a thing, I'd be happy about that. I wouldn't want Dogs of War to be killed. It would be awesome to get a Dogs of War faction, especially some Talea, Stallion stuff, especially. Oh man, that would be fantastic. Yeah, I love Talea and Astalia. So that would be awesome. I hope it isn't dead, because yeah, that would suck. That would really suck. But let's get to what you came here for. I'm a High Elf fan, so I'm going to be focusing on the High Elf stuff. And, Sea Lord Aislinn, that was correct. And the Sea Helm, I don't think was announced. The Sea Element. This is where things are interesting, because why would they guess the Sea Elemental if this was a fake leak? There were so many, other units that it could have been. I mean, the Sea Element would have been far down on the list, I would think. The Merworm is an easy guess, because it's in Old World and stuff, so it makes sense to bring it back. It would make sense to bring it back. Whereas the Mysterious Sea Element, or whatever, it never had a model, so I don't know. And here's what really scares me right here, guys. This is what really is getting me all worried. You see this guy? Caradrian. I think Caradrian is an overrated character. I personally don't like Caradrian that much. He's the captain of the Phoenix Guard, whoop-de-doo. He's the equivalent of the Blackguard guy that I always forget the name of. He's not special. He did become the incarnate of fire in the end times, but yeah, I'm worried because I don't want Caradrian for the legendary hero. I want Corhill. I want Corhill. Corhill has been my boy for a long time. He was in my top 10, I think, in that short I did. Corhill is awesome. I am a big fan of Corhill. And he's in the Old World, as one of the two characters, along with Shia Vess, I think. He was in 4th edition. I think he was all the way back in 4th edition. I think he had a 4th edition mini that I always have wanted but never been able to get. Yeah, this one. I've always wanted to get this mini. I have this mini, which, this is not a bad mini by any accounts. It's still a pretty good mini. It's metal. I like metal minis. I like metal minis better than plastic minis. I don't care what Great Book of Grudges says. He can sue me. I've always liked this one. This is his 4th edition one. I think he might have been just the champion for the White Lions. I don't actually remember him having rules or being in the 4th edition army book. But yeah, I love this model. So if I could get my hands on that, oh, I would be very pleased. Anyway, I want Corhill in the game. I want him to be a legendary hero. I want Corhill to give buffs to White Lions. I mean, we have Alistair the White Lion, but Alistair's not even on Corhill's level. I mean, come on. Corhill is awesome. Corhill is a beast who went to the old world, he's in the old world lore as going to the old world to just kick some butt, really. And yeah, he's awesome. He's been around for a long time. I think he's been around longer than Caradrian. Caradrian is newer. And yeah, I'm a big fan of Corhill, so I'm going to be a little I'm going to be a little annoyed if Corhill's not in the DLC, because it likely means he will never be in the game, which, yeah, that's kind of scary, because I'm a big fan of Corhill. Yeah, as you know, he's like, what? He's only my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th favorite elf, which sounds pretty low until you realize that I have 5 in my top 10. Yeah, he's awesome. I really like Corhill, and I can't wait to get around to painting him if I decide to keep this mini and not buy his old one. Anyway, that's what I was thinking. That's my biggest worry of all of this, is that Corhill doesn't get added. You pick Sea Lord Aislinn, fine, whatever. I mean, I don't personally think he's all that great, but better to have a high elf DLC than not have a high elf DLC. So there's that at least. But yeah, it's just worrisome because Caradrian, he's not essential. I would argue. I mean, I can see why you would argue that Caradrian would be more important than Corhill. He is, in the End Times lore, he is the incarnate of fire, which I've read through this End Times lore stuff so much for these shorts and stuff I've been working on, so yeah, I mean, he does serve a purpose in the End Times. I'll give him that. I think he kills Arbald, in fact, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, Sea Lord Aislinn, whatever. Caradrian, okay. It's just, I really wanted Corhill, and that's what's kind of bumming me out about this DLC, is I was hoping High Elves, my favorite race, finally get a DLC, and maybe it'll be good, maybe it'll fill out the roster, Lothran Skycutter, Ship's Company, all those goodies that have been kind of forgotten, the Sea Helm, all that's been kind of forgotten. So it would be nice to flush it out, give them a bit of style. Tyrion is pretty bland right now, Teclis is really bland right now, Imric is pretty fun to play right now. I could see a little bit of spice, but they didn't actually say anything about that. They did say they would add some stuff to Tyrion and Teclis because, yeah, they're pretty boring right now. But, yeah, Imric is fun. Lithanar is fun. Alariel is, in my opinion, pretty boring right now in her current state. She only has that one mechanic that you don't really ever pay attention to. So, yeah, she's not the most fun at the moment. I wish she would get some help. And, am I missing another High Elf Legendary Lord? I think there's 6. Lithanar, Imric, Tyrion, Teclis, Alariel. I am missing someone. Who am I missing? Who is it? Is it a forgettable one? Do I not play this guy? Lithanar, Imric, Alariel, Tyrion, Teclis. Who is it? Who am I forgetting? Who is it? How am I forgetting this? Who is it? Was it a DLC? For DLC? Eltharion. Holy crap. Yeah, Eltharian's fine. Oh my goodness, I can't believe I forgot Eltharion. I mean, I don't play him particularly often. I think he's kind of overrated, but he's better than Aislinn. Keep that in mind. I like Lithanar a lot. His campaign is, like, I think, honestly, if you were to look objectively at it, the most fun of the group, because he's the most different. He has that stock stance, which changes the game entirely, leads you more to play like a Skaven than like a High Elf. Really interesting stuff. You spam Shadow Warriors. Fun campaign. I don't think they'll mess up on Aislinn in particular. I think his campaign could be fun. I just think that there were better options as a High Elf enjoyer. So that's my thoughts on this DLC. If it goes the way I'm expecting, I'm going to buy it anyway. I mean, come on. I need all the High Elf units I can get. I'm play Imrik. Imrik's my main. He's my profile picture for Sigmar's sake. I mean, for Vol's sake, I guess I should say. Yeah, he's the main one I play. I love playing him. So I'm going to be buying the DLC regardless. They're going to split it up. They were talking about another one about the single DLCs possibility, and Neferata being one of those. Great. I mean, I've always wanted Neferata. Lamian vampires are my favorite part. I love those models I have. Those are like my favorite models I own. So, yeah, that would be fantastic. However, I mean, it still means the High Elves are likely done. I mean, after this, there's very little left. They're not going to get anything. The Dark Elves would have more stuff to be given than them. So, yeah, for Adrian, it takes Core Hill's place. Core Hill's not coming in, and that bums. That sucks. Anyway, what are your thoughts on the DLC so far? It is going really slow, I've noticed as well. And, yeah, everyone's being annoyed of how slow the Creative Assembly is, but that's just the way Creative Assembly is, for the most part. They just are really slow at getting stuff out, and especially, like, we thought Omens of Destruction was long. This has, like, been longer than that. I hope the game doesn't end soon after this. I think it was in this that it says that there's going to be an End Times DLC, and yeah, this is worrisome too, that if there's only this much DLC left, 1 to 2 DLCs left, means Dogs of War couldn't happen. I already said I wanted Dogs of War. There's some stuff. I mean, Nagash is not going to fill out the vampire roster. Let's be real here. He's undead. He's not really a vampire. I mean, he's not a vampire at all. A lot more named vampire characters than that they could choose from. A lot of them, and I know a lot of them because I've been buying their minis for kind of insane prices right now. But yeah, that's my thoughts. I'll probably create another video soon talking about potentials for a Dark Elf, for a Vampire DLC, since that's probably my second favorite faction. But until the next time, I'll leave you guys here. Probably gonna post some more videos this week, even if it's just me playing some Total War so I can get some hours in and have an excuse as to why I'm playing Total War and not looking for jobs. Be nice. So, thank you for watching. See you next time. Peace.